what a Super Bowl that was. And I think for a lot of people, such as myself, not that just look like me, I'm talking about us, those of us who are just so worn out, tired, burnt out, and just wanting to be happy and peaceful. It was such a breath of joy and fresh air. I've watched a ton of videos online of people watching the Super Bowl for the first time, their first time reactions or their second time reactions, trying to look at all the little details because it was such a complex performance. And it was just really beautiful to watch people not Hispanic at all or Latino and just enjoy the richness that that performance or that masterpiece was. And it's great that everybody's talking about, the significance, the symbolism, the message behind it. And it just feels like it just invigorated so much of us, gave us a little bit more energy than what we already had. But I think that for me, personally, it did so many things, it ignited so many emotions. And I'm trying to funnel it all into one place because I feel like it's important. Because nobody is talking about what to do with it. And I think that is the most important part of Bad Bunny's message. And myself as a Puerto Rican who was born in New York and has lived about half their life in 2 states here in the US, as well as 20 plus years in Puerto Rico, I feel like I have a unique perspective on what's going on and the message that an artist from my country is trying to convey to everybody, not just for the Americas, but for the entire world. And I think it's important that we talk about it. I come from a religious background, so I can understand why some people were scandalized by the dancing and the twerking. And a lot of people choose to just focus on that. But I think the overall message was, if you're tired, because that's what the American dream stood for. Give us you're tired, you're poor, and we're gonna help build them up community. I think Bad Bunny is trying to rally us all together. All the good people in the world who are accepting of other people and their cultures, because at the end of the day, we are all melded into one pot. Human race is what he's advocating for, to build up and lift up the human race, starting with your community and starting with the community that's right there in your backyard, that's helped contribute locally to who you are as a person, where you come from. When I first saw his performance, it filled me with so many different emotions I couldn't explain. But it brought to mind the identity crisis that I had not been wanting to face. And it still breaks me up inside because I've spent 40 years of my life trying to figure out where I belong, who I am. And I feel like it's because I've been focusing. The message that's been thrown at us since we were kids, we've all been put into this world where we all have to be put into this little box. Either you're this or you're that. And that's just not how the world works, especially not nowadays where we're all so connected. It's so easy to see each other through the internet. When Bad Bunny was doing the reggaeton part of it, it made me uncomfortable because of where I come from, a Christian background, and being brought up in that type of environment. It made me feel embarrassed almost and a little bit turned off by it, but the music of it made my body want to move. And I think we spend so long trying to put ourselves in this or that box that we forget that we're just so melded together at this point. And America represents that. And it displays it in a way that no other country or no other continents in the world can say that that's true in this specific ways. So many cultures from all around the world are here and have built this country. I think it's important for us to acknowledge that fact. And that performance made me acknowledge that about myself, which I guess subconsciously I didn't realize that I was trying to exclude a part of myself when I'm trying to fit in, whether I wanted to be more American, speak more English because it was my first language, but both my parents are Puerto Rican, and when I lived in Puerto Rico, I felt like the Puerto Ricans didn't feel like I was 100% de pura cepa because, I wasn't born on the island. But my roots, my culture, my upbringing, even in New York, was surrounded by the culture. my family's culture. Over there, I was trying to be American, and while I was over here, I was trying to retain my Puerto Ricanness, and it seemed like no matter what I did, I just couldn't fit in. I didn't feel like I could always be 100% myself. I had to be who I thought the people around me needed me to be. And I think that was such a powerful message, to be yourself and be who you are, and you can be successful if you believe in yourself and don't deny all those parts of yourself. It's so many things that I am and that I love about all these cultures and all these different flavors. It's like if you just try to stick to one thing of food all the time, and even if it has flavor, sticking to one type of food for the rest of your life is just the stupidest thing in the world. Why would you want to do that? It's ridiculous. I feel like I had to embrace that ratchetness in me, that ghetto, that hood, because it is where I come from. Because I did grow up in a poor neighborhood in Brooklyn in the 80s. And I feel like that had an impact on me. And it doesn't make me less American, and it doesn't make me less Puerto Rican. It makes me Jessie. It makes me me. And I have a lot to offer, and I have a lot to give. And so do you. We all do. Whatever our talent or our passion is, if you believe that you can accomplish it, you can do it. We are in a unique moment in history that will never be repeated. This is our time. I'm talking again to you, millennials, Gen Z, Gen X. We're the leaders right now. We're coming into those positions at our jobs. We're coming into becoming parents. We need to step up. If there's anybody who can understand how difficult it has been and how much we have upheld society for so long, mostly without complaining, I think we're just fed up with it, with how things are, with things draining our energy. I think we're stuck in a place trying to change careers, trying to figure out where we find peace, where stability is. We keep moving around. And even if we do stay put and do everything right, we get laid off or we don't get that promotion. And I think we're just so tired of all that. But now is our time to step up, to look at ourselves in the mirror and to see what we're lacking, so that we can fix that about ourselves, so that we're not like them. Not to say that all those people who came before are so bad, but they made their mistakes, and it's our job to learn what their mistakes were, to fix those mistakes within ourselves so that we don't repeat them, to make the work environment better. We can just sit here and look at the Super Bowl and say, bravo, that's a great message. But if you noticed at the end, he kept singing and he took off his microphone because it's like he's passing it along. He's like, I did this. I brought it to the world. I reminded you of who you are. And we're all together in this. And if we unite, unity for people, not just a country, not just a continent, for everybody, not just for one generation, for everybody, we can do better. We can make this better. We've put all our energy in trying to make all these systems and capitalism work, and we're just so drained by it. It doesn't make us happy. It makes us temporarily happy, and we just numb ourselves with the rest of it. We've almost given up on it. But that message of hope, that we can still do this, but we have to look at ourselves first. Even Whitney Houston saying the greatest love of all is yourself. If you don't develop that, you can't get anywhere. Let's stop doing that to ourselves. And I know you're tired. I'm so tired too. Sunday night, he ignited a fire. Let's start talking to each other. Let's start building our communities online, but locally too. Because if shit goes down, and it seems like you're gonna need your neighbor. Not just the ones online, the one next door, the one who's going to lend you that ladder or that cup of sugar or whatever you need to be able to survive whatever might be coming. Kindness matters, love matters, but love starts with yourself. And I know this sounds like all this preachy bullshit motivational speeches, but no, this is war. And not war in the typical sense of where we have to pick up arms and machetes like our ancestors did. We don't need to do protest marches, some of that's important. And if you have the ability and the resilience to do that, we need you to. Go do that. But there's some of us who have other issues and other circumstances that don't permit us to do and fight like that. But we have our words. We have our platforms. We have our actions of kindness. Let's use that. Let's help each other build those tools, those weapons, those arms that we can use against this hate and this craziness that this world has become. Because I know the majority of us don't want it to be that way, but we're just so numb and tired that we have no energy, and we feel like even if we did try, it wouldn't matter. But it does matter. That's what they want us to believe, that it doesn't matter, but it matters. And now is the time to do it. Use anything you have, your time, your resources, to lift someone up. Let's fight hate in unconventional ways, in ways they don't expect, that they won't see coming. Almost like a silent revolution of emotional intelligence, of learning emotional intelligence for yourself, and then showing by actions. Because even at the end of that performance, Bad Bunny didn't just sing the lyric. He said, I should have hugged more people. No, he's gonna do that now. He hugged his friend. He hugged that person next to him. Because it's not just saying, I believe in this, it's doing it, it's actions. Whatever it may be. You might not have a lot of money, but I'm sure you have an internet and a phone. I'm pretty sure you could post online things like this. Or you can go support small channels like mine and others that are trying to spread kindness and a better message, or something more positive, or put something more positive into this world. Let's build companies. Let's build anything that we can. And let's bring along the right type of people. Let's form communities with the right type of people, with like-minded people like us. Because if we continue to spend our time trying to convince other people that have no intention in opening their minds, at least not at this moment, we're just wasting our energy in there. Instead of making videos about the halftime, highlighting people who are unhappy about it, who hate it, let's not even pay attention to any of that. Let's not even highlight it. Let's not even watch it. Let's make more videos about people who loved it, from people who had never heard of Puerto Rico or Latino Americas. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how we're gonna take that and continue it on. What can you do? I feel like at the beginning of the halftime show, I had a little identity crisis, but through the end of it, there is no doubt in my mind that I know who I am, and I've always known, but I've always been too afraid to show it. And now is not the time to hide who you are, especially if you're a kind, generous, humble person who doesn't judge others, who enjoys diversity, who enjoys learning about other people and their cultures and their beliefs, even if we don't agree with them, who will lift other people up in almost like a leapfrog kind of way, where you just have people leapfrogging over you. Because a lot of people try to think of it like a corporate ladder, but we leapfrog over each other. Latinos leapfrog over each other. Because we know that sometimes somebody's behind us and they need our help. And we're not trying to be above them. We're trying to be beside them as equals. And it doesn't matter what talent you have or how much money you have or who you are, who your parents are, we're going to help you. And we're going to pull you from behind us, and we're going to lift you above us, and we're going to celebrate as you soar above us. And we're going to applaud you. And then you're going to be in front of us, and we're not going to be jealous about it. We're going to be happy. We're not going to throw in your face that it was because of us that we helped you over. No. We're going to be happy that you're there. Because we know you're going to look back and be like, oh shit, this person is behind me. I remember he helped me. And even if he didn't, let me help him. And he's going to pull you over, and he's going to applaud you, and he's going to celebrate you and watch you shine as well. Let's celebrate each other. Let's celebrate the weirdness. I saw somebody watching the halftime show that was so over emotional about it that I'm pretty sure that if I had physically been in the room with that person, I might have been a little uncomfortable at first. But shame on me. It touched that person so much that they were able to express those emotions so freely that it made me angry at myself for almost judging that person for having that what was in my opinion overreaction. But you know what? I felt all that on the inside, and I was too afraid to show it on the outside because I was afraid someone like me was gonna see it and think and say something like I thought or meaner. Fuck. So let's get creative. Let's try to achieve that emotional intelligence where we can recover from this burnout. Let's take a burnout pattern recess where we're going to reassess and reevaluate how we can heal ourselves or how we can regulate ourselves right now from all this burnout and all this overwhelming things that are coming at us and all this hate that's coming toward us. I think if we focus on first regulating our emotions and then take it one step further and then start looking and going back to school, as it were, right? First, we're going to take the recess, we're going to take a breather, we're going to have some fun if we can, and then we're going to start looking inward. And we're going to start going to class. We're going to go back to class. And we're going to start learning these things that maybe we weren't learned before, but instead of victimizing ourselves and feeling sorry for ourselves that we didn't have the role model, we didn't have the mom, we didn't have the dad, we didn't have the brother or sister, we didn't have that boss mentor, we didn't have, it doesn't matter what you had. We're going to form that now. Let's build this community. Let's find our uncles and aunts and tias and abuelos. And let's just, doesn't matter where they come from in the world. Let's find them. Let's try to support each other through this journey of trying to figure ourselves out, trying to figure out who we are, what we really want in life, but more importantly, what we stand for. Because once we understand what we stand for, there is nothing that can hold us back. And a performance like that shows that. When you have one goal in mind and you find a group of people like-minded, you can accomplish something as beautiful and as almost perfect as that show was, that can reach and touch so many people in the way that it did. And it can hopefully, just like with me, and I hope it happens with you, that you do something about it. So if you're on board with this journey with me, please like, subscribe, share this video with other people, and support them. Find ways to support them. Don't expect anything in return. Just do it so that we spread more love than hate. Hell, for every one hateful thing that you see online, try to outbalance it by doing 2, 3, 4, as many as you can, acts of kindness, however you want. Doesn't really matter how you spread the kindness as long as that you do it. And if you don't believe in yourself right now, just pretend. You know that whole fake it till you make it? Well, maybe you can fake this. Fake believing in yourself. Just do what you have to do. That doesn't matter anymore. Leave that behind. That's part of who you are. That's important too. Accept the things, the flaws that you have. But don't stop trying to get better, trying to do better, trying to be better. Figure these things out. There's a lot of people online talking about doing these digital detoxes, raw dogging boredom. That's fucking creative. I tried that. It is really difficult to do. And I pride myself on thinking that I'm not super addicted to social media. The point is, try to figure out practical ways where you can use things that you wouldn't think would help you. There's a lot of psychological tools, habits, productivity, things that you can try to be able to help yourself figure out how to control and regulate yourself, reparent yourself, as it were. I think if you fixate on the fact that you're not going to get it right, it's not going to be perfect, you're never going to change. There will always be something that you need to improve on, and it's okay not to be perfect. I wanted to prove this point to myself, so I said I've been holding back on launching a YouTube video. For people like me, it's not that we don't have the capacity, it's that we lack the self-worth and the self-love to be able to push ourselves to be able to do that. And if we don't have someone applauding us all the time, it feels like we can't do it. When we find ourselves at rock bottom, we figure out ways that even a genius probably couldn't figure out of how to practically get something done. So my challenge with this whole channel is to be able to get like-minded people together who are actively trying to improve themselves. More importantly, their emotional intelligence, so that they stop reacting and start behaving and living the way that they want to see themselves and how they want others to see them. Because I know we all are capable but I also know that we're also really tired, and we're also very hurt, and we're also feeling like we're victims, which most of us in the technical sense are. But I know I'm halfway through my life, 42, if you're wondering. But the point is, I've got to change something. I get a little bit further in life and I come back here, and I didn't understand why, like I said, until this Sunday. And now I'm going to embrace all the parts in me, all the different cultures and races and influences and likes and dislikes and opinions I might have. But I'm also going to challenge myself to open my mind, which I think is pretty open as it is, to open it even further, to go even deeper into myself, into other things, to explore and to try, to physically, actively, consistently try new things to get better. I want you to come on this journey with me. I want to find like-minded people. I know you're out there. I've seen your videos. Help me find other ones like us. Let's fix what we can while we're here. I don't mean fix the world. I mean fix our little world, our little bubble, locally. And if we have a lot of little local bubbles, who knows, maybe one day. I want to say I have hope. It's still not 100% back to really say that I 100% believe that statement. What I can say is that if myself and others don't do anything, there's even less probability of that happening. But we have to be strategic about it. They're very strategic about how they operate. Take they for whoever you want to, fill the blank in for. But the fact of the matter is, if we're not strategic about it, if we don't build those skills and those emotional tools that we need to be able to handle and be resilient and be able to find joy within the pain, then we're not going to be ready. We're going to suffer even more. And worse, we're going to have to do it alone. I think it should be our goal to try to find ways to convince other people who don't think like us to want to change. And I think the Super Bowl gave us a taste of what that looks like, with just showing joy and love through actions. With our community backing us, you can take leaps of faith like he did, and you know that your people will catch you. And who knows, if there's not enough people to catch you, we might all fall, but we're all gonna pick ourselves back up. So it doesn't matter what place you are right now, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, it doesn't matter what religion you are. Every religion preaches about love, or at least most of them do. And if you're agnostic or if you're atheist, make love your religion. Practice acts of kindness, random acts of kindness. There can be so many things. It could just be a smile. It could just be a like on a comment. There's no excuses. In this whole AI phenomena, I think it's important for us right now to continue to prove what makes us human. The human default is love and unity. If you were moved by that halftime show, or if there were some types of emotions brewing in you, it doesn't really matter what they were. Use them. Take your anxiety, take your anger, take your rage, take your frustration. Use that. Use it to make you look inward first, fix that, and then support and help everyone else on their journey in whatever place they may be without judgment. Let's go through this whole detox together, whatever that might mean for you. Let's not judge others for how they attempt to do this. Remember, we're all not going to get it right the first time. We're going to need each other. I want to create this forum here where we can discuss things that we've tried that have helped us. And like I said, let's get creative. Let's think of ways that make it fun and engaging and practical and easy to at least start. And let's encourage each other to do it. And let's be empathetic and compassionate when people don't get it right or when they continue to make the same mistakes. But at least they're self-aware, because at least that's probably. So that's what we're going to do on this channel. We're going to try to break ourselves down a little bit, hold ourselves accountable, and start making those changes in our patterns that lead to this type of burnout in our lives, so that we'll have more energy to spread the love and the kindness that we truly feel inside and that we want to spread amongst everybody in our lives. We're going to break those burnout loops. We're going to replace negative reactive habits. We're going to learn to rebuild or build our nervous system capacity and learn resilience through adversity. Let's create things again with purpose and meaning and depth, not just for exploitation and commercial purposes. With real meaning, authenticity, genuine. Let's use our talents and develop new ones if we don't have talents. If that's what you think, then go develop some. It's not that hard. Here's what we're not going to do on this channel. We're not going to excuse ignorance. We're not going to glorify outrage. We're not going to waste our time arguing endlessly with people who have no intention on opening their minds, even just a little bit. We're not going to hate on causes that are spreading the message of love and unity just because it's not our cup of tea or it's not our style. We're going to stop waiting for other people to fix it and take accountability for our part in this world, or at least in our world, and what we can do to make our world better for ourselves and for those around us that we love. We're gonna, for once and for a very long time, stop thinking about what's easiest for us and start thinking about what's best for the collective community. And let's think about what builds resilience for all of us and share those things and be open to try those new things. Self-growth, all of that is growth energy, and that's the energy we're trying to convey in this channel. So I'm talking to you, people like me. Doesn't matter what age, race, part of the world you live in or you came from, what socioeconomic status you're in right now, whether you've hit rock bottom or not. Let's do this. Let's really commit to this. I'm committed. That's what that show meant to me. And instead of just saying, yeah, that was a great show, it was a masterpiece, let's do something more with it. The momentum is there. We just have to fall in line with it. And those who aren't hesitant, let's convince them. Not with our words, with our actions. Did that Super Bowl move you? Good. Now do something with it. Train for it. Train to be a better future version of yourself right now. If chaos spreads, discipline needs to spread more strategically, intentionally. If hate multiplies, love has to multiply even faster. That's the only way you and I can fight this. Without weapons, without arms, without guns. Love. Genuine, authentic love and compassion. And if burnout is the pattern, well, then we'll fix it with recess. If you stick around. Bring a notebook. And your ego, we'll check that out the door. Mine too. Only vulnerability here. This video isn't perfect, but I'm committed to making this channel as great as I can. I'm starting from the bottom, but I hope one day to make something that people will be as equally touched by as Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show this last Sunday. So just be patient, give me some time to learn some things, and come along for the ride. And hey, whatever you've got going on, share with me. I'd love to see and support your channels and your goals and whatever you got going on. Just leave comments down below. Let's retrain ourselves together, one little tiny step at a time. Now, if you've been feeling lazy, like being burned out has made you lazy, it could be that you're lazy, but it could be something else. And I think it's probably something else. But for that, you'll have to stick around to catch the next episode. And remember, kindness matters now more than ever. Be kind. I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm sure you are too. So just bear with me just a little bit longer. I'll get there, and so will you. At least we're doing something, right? That's the most important part. That's the whole point of this, for reals. Depression sucks, but I fucking filmed this video. It's getting posted today because I fucking did that just like Bad Bunny did that. Did it! Fucking did it! Fucking did it! Yay me!